Most buildings are designed to dominate the landscape. This one is different. It's an attempt to bargain with it. But this bargain begins with a non-negotiable term: absolute precision. A single centimeter of error in this foundation layout could lead to total structural failure. He's not digging a traditional trench. This will be a pier foundation. It's a faster, less invasive method, but it concentrates the entire weight of the house onto a few small points. And what he's about to pour into these handmade forms is a decision that will define the project's success or failure. First, a layer of gravel for drainage, preventing frost heave from lifting the piers. Now, he mixes concrete by hand, a grueling task. The consistency of this mix is critical for its final strength. With the piers poured, the site looks like a cryptic message written on the forest floor. The wooden boxes act as formwork for the concrete caps, creating a level surface to anchor the timber frame. This is the heart of off-grid living, the relentless cycle of labor and sustenance. With the concrete cured, he secures the sill plates, the first layer of the timber structure. He uses a spirit level and square to ensure everything is perfectly level and plumb. The entire house rests on this accuracy. Using a hand plane to shave millimeters off the timber, achieving a perfect fit that machines can't replicate. The forest provides the raw materials, a silent, patient supplier for his ambitious project. The floor joists are in place, forming a rigid grid. This is the skeleton of the floor system. A stockpile of meticulously milled lumber. This level of preparation is what separates amateurs from professionals. He fastens the rim joists, tying the entire perimeter of the floor frame together into a single, strong unit. He installs blocking between the joists. This prevents them from twisting and adds to the floor's rigidity. A close-up on a mortise and tenon joint, a classic woodworking technique for creating strong, elegant connections. Cutting the timbers for the wall frames, each piece is part of a complex, interlocking puzzle. His canine companion inspects the work, even in the wilderness. Every job site needs a good supervisor. He's not just building a floor, he's creating a perfectly level and stable platform for the rest of the house. The foundation and floor frame are complete, a massive achievement for a solo builder. Now for the subfloor insulation. These rigid foam boards will create a thermal break, preventing cold from rising from below. He prepares what looks like a wood preservative or sealant. Protecting the timber from moisture and insects is paramount. Applying the sealant to the end grain of the joists, the most vulnerable point for water absorption. Each insulation panel is cut to fit snugly between the joists, eliminating thermal bridges and maximizing energy efficiency. With the final piece of insulation in place, the floor is now a fully insulated diaphragm. Precision cutting is essential. Gaps in the insulation would dramatically compromise its effectiveness. A new task begins: trenching. This is likely for utilities, water supply, and drainage pipes. He lays the pipes in the trench. Planning for plumbing at this stage is crucial and much harder to do later. Now he builds a small, sturdy workbench. A proper workstation increases safety and precision. The gray pipe is likely for wastewater, carefully sloped to ensure proper gravity-fed drainage. He begins laying the tongue and groove floorboards, the finished surface of the floor. Each board is carefully tapped into place and face nailed to the joists below. He's adding log posts under the main beams. This provides additional support and a rustic aesthetic. This painstaking process will result in a beautiful and incredibly durable solid wood floor. These log piers are a clever way to use natural materials to bolster the structure's load-bearing capacity. The finished foundation is a hybrid masterpiece: concrete piers, dimensional lumber, and natural logs. Now for an aesthetic touch, he's applying a stone veneer to the concrete foundation blocks. He uses mortar to bond the thin stones to the concrete, a technique called adhered veneer. This will give the appearance of a solid stone foundation, blending the structure more naturally into its surroundings. The process is like solving a complex puzzle, fitting each unique stone to create a cohesive pattern. A separate project, building a large, outdoor brick oven. The smoke in the background suggests a curing fire. He creates a concrete slab foundation for the heavy brick structure. He pours and screeds the concrete, ensuring a level base. Any error here will be magnified as the walls go up. With the slab cured, he begins laying the fire bricks, for the oven's core. These dense bricks are designed to withstand and radiate intense heat. He builds the outer walls, leaving a cavity that will likely be filled with insulation. The rectangular base will support the cooking surface with a firebox built below. He continues building up the courses of brick, using a level to keep the walls perfectly vertical. Contrasting colored bricks are used to create a decorative arch, the primary opening of the oven. The finished oven is a beautiful piece of masonry, a functional sculpture in the wilderness. Time for the inaugural cook. A heavy cast iron pan is placed on the hot surface. The sizzling potatoes are a delicious reward for weeks of hard construction work. Back to the main house, he uses a chisel to cut a deep mortise for a large structural joint. He cleans out the mortise, ensuring the corresponding tenon will have a tight, perfect fit. More sawing, the air fills with the scent of fresh cut pine as he prepares the timbers for the walls. The next phase begins, erecting the walls. This is where the house will finally take its vertical form. He moves a massive wall beam, a piece of timber so heavy it tests the limits of a single person. He applies wood glue to the joint before fitting the pieces. This will create an incredibly strong, permanent bond. The wall frames are assembled on the floor deck first, then they will be lifted into place. With one wall frame assembled, he prepares to raise it, the most dramatic moment of the build so far. He secures a smaller component, likely a jack stud or a cripple stud for a window opening. More materials are brought in. A builder is a master of logistics, always thinking 3 steps ahead. He uses a traditional hand drill or brace and bit to bore a clean, large diameter hole. He checks his work with a square, ensuring the frame has no twists and all angles are a perfect 90 degrees. He planes a beam, ensuring a smooth surface for where it will meet another component. The repetition of drilling holes suggests he is preparing for pegged mortise and tenon joinery throughout the frame. A truly Herculean task. He moves a massive log, harvested directly from his own land. He uses a lever and fulcrum, the most basic of simple machines, to lift the heavy log. Ingenious. Now comes the challenge of lifting the primary wall beams, each weighing hundreds of pounds. He's engineered a simple crane, using a pulley system to multiply his force. This is brilliant problem solving. Slowly and carefully, he hoists the massive beam and guides it into position atop the wall posts. He nudges the beam into its final resting place, fitting the tenons into the mortises below. The primary frame is up. The skeleton of the house now stands against the forest backdrop. He continues to add the smaller infill framing, completing the wall structure. The house is no longer a blueprint or a pile of wood. It has volume, form, and presence. Now, the wall sheathing goes on. This is likely a type of log cabin style construction with interlocking timbers. Cutting another timber with a handsaw, the methodical pace of hand tool woodworking is almost meditative. He raises another one of the main wall logs. The sheer physical effort is immense. A new element appears, a metal fence. This is likely to keep wildlife out of a garden or the work area. Back inside, he begins laying the finished floorboards over the insulated subfloor. The interior is taking shape, defined by the warm, natural tones of the wood. Using his ingenious manual crane again, this time to lift the massive ridge beam for the roof. He's cutting the bird's mouth notches on the rafters. This cut allows the rafter to sit securely on the wall's top plate. Installing a window frame into the rough opening, a critical step in weatherproofing the structure. With the rafters in place, he begins nailing down the roof decking, creating the solid plane of the roof. He checks the plans, or perhaps makes a quick sketch, measure twice, cut once. Another massive log is fitted into the wall system. This house is built to last for generations. Trimming the rafter tails to be flush and even, a finishing detail that signals high-quality craftsmanship. He works high on the roof, installing the final rows of decking. The structure is nearly in the dry. As daylight fades, he races to finish. The wilderness does not wait. Working into the twilight, his determination is unwavering. The silhouette of the house against the darkening sky is a powerful image of human creation. The roof decking is nearly complete. A huge milestone has been reached. He secures the last few boards under a darkening sky. The roof is done. The house is now protected from the rain and snow to come. A new day, a new task. He rolls out the roofing underlayment, a synthetic vapor barrier that is the first line of defense against water. He carefully fastens the underlayment, ensuring a continuous, unbroken seal across the entire roof. From this wide angle, we see the house in its environment, nestled between the forest and his outdoor workshop. Working within the rafters, he installs blocking and bracing to strengthen the roof structure from within. The underlayment is now complete, giving the roof a clean, gray surface. He continues to work meticulously, knowing that the roof is the most critical shield for the house. The structure is now fully weathered in, a testament to his skill and perseverance. He installs the fascia boards, the trim that runs along the edge of the rafters. Now for the final roofing material, standing seam metal panels, an excellent choice for durability and shedding snow. He carefully aligns the first panel. Getting this one perfectly straight is critical for the rest of the roof. The finished house, with its dark metal roof, has a modern yet timeless aesthetic that complements the woods. He fastens the panels with special gasketed screws to ensure a completely waterproof seal. He interlocks the seams of the metal panels, creating a single, monolithic roofing surface. The clean, sharp lines of the metal roof contrast beautifully with the organic forms of the timber. Each screw is driven with care. A single leaky screw could cause major problems down the line. He works his way across the roof, each panel another step towards completion. The house stands finished and proud, a remarkable achievement of solo, off-grid construction. He installs the ridge cap, the final piece that seals the peak of the roof from the elements. A final view of the completed home, a sanctuary, carved out of the wilderness through sheer will and skill. But the work is never truly done. A new project begins, this time with a new builder. The fundamentals are the same, digging a foundation, this time for a large timber post. He secures the post in the ground. The black coating is a bitumen paint to protect the wood from ground moisture and rot. He lays out the timbers, carefully marking the locations for the complex joints that will lock the frame together. The frame begins to rise, a skeleton of heavy timbers that will form a gazebo or outdoor pavilion. Cutting the complex angles for the roof rafters by hand requires a high degree of skill and spatial reasoning. The hip rafters are installed, forming the primary angles of the pavilion's elegant roof structure. He installs a decorative metal cap at the peak, where all the rafters converge. He continues to build up the complex roof framing, adding the jack rafters that run to the hips. The final roofing panels are installed, completing the structure's primary cover. The finished roof is a beautiful display of traditional timber framing joinery. Now for the floor, he prepares a bed of gravel for drainage and as a stable base. He lays cross-sections of logs as pavers, creating a stunning and unique natural floor. A rustic table completes the space. The pavilion is now a functional outdoor living room. Back at the main house, he begins work on the porch railings, a critical safety and aesthetic element. He secures the heavy timber posts that will support the railing system. The top rail is installed, defining the perimeter of the porch. He now installs the balusters, the vertical spindles, using natural, untrimmed branches for a rustic look. Using a power saw, he efficiently cuts all the balusters to a consistent length. The porch steps are installed, providing safe and sturdy access to the house. The final nail is driven, completing the porch railing. The exterior of the house is now finished. He finishes the stairway railing, a final act of meticulous craftsmanship. Inside, he begins the final wall paneling, using beautiful tongue and groove boards. He fits the custom-built window into its opening, a piece requiring tolerances of just a few millimeters. He looks out his new window, not just at a forest, but at the source of his materials, his inspiration, and his home. He works on the roof's soffits and fascia, the final trim pieces that seal the edges of the roof. The finished home, a study in wood, stone, and metal, sits in perfect harmony with its environment. He brings in wood for the stove, preparing to bring warmth and life into the new space. He continues cladding the exterior walls, each board another step toward sealing the envelope. The second window is installed, bringing more light and symmetry to the facade. Back on the roof, he completes the trim work around the gables. The attention to detail on the roof line is superb. He installs the soffit panels underneath the eaves, ventilating the roof cavity and keeping pests out. Inside the attic, the beautiful wood structure is left exposed, becoming the finished ceiling. He meticulously fits the ceiling boards, a challenging task while working overhead. The tight joinery of the ceiling is a testament to his skill as a carpenter. The final piece of the exterior, the gutter system, this will manage rainwater and protect the foundation. He finishes the last of the interior paneling in the attic space. The attic is transformed from a rough space into a cozy, finished room. He walks across the newly finished attic floor, inspecting the culmination of all his hard work. A job well done. The space is clean, solid, and beautiful. Now, finishing the porch, he adds the final steps, a welcoming entryway to the log home. The winter snow provides the ultimate test of his work. The house stands strong and warm. He builds a magnificent custom door with intricate patterns that showcase his artistry. From the porch, the view is serene, the reward for building a dream in the wilderness. He hangs the door he so carefully crafted. The final, perfect touch to a masterpiece of natural building. A very special thank you to the owner of the YouTube channel, @Bjorn_Brenton, for creating this wonderful video and allowing me to comment. If you enjoyed this narrative, please visit and support their channel at the link in the description below.